to really appeal to every student, you can't really approach it as a straight line service learning program, because although many realize the value of it, it's not their thing, it's not their interest. So if that, and service really has to fit the individualized interests of every student. It has to fit their passions. So the projects they create have to fit their passions that are already there, as opposed to trying to attract them with just service.
Right, so maybe our approach to service is too narrow and needs to be broadened out so that every student can find a hook into serving beyond the kind of narrow one that we might have. Is that fair? Yeah. But
I would say create more opportunities for students to join programs that have service, providing opportunities to begin.
right, we need to create a lot more opportunities. Yeah, I think in a whole different range of ways. I think we really were kind of stuck in a narrow way of thinking. Yes.
I think opportunities for our teenagers and young adults to inspire younger kids. I think the mentoring of young people become the best role models and inspiration. The elementary school kids are when our high school and college youth council kids can come into another program.
Right.
So I think
Right.
elevating our young adults.
Right, and right, so these folks are all either high school seniors or freshmen in college, right? And so they're still working with Team Kids. So they are now coming back, as it were, and working with the younger kids in the program. So that's, and you see the results. I mean, you see the leadership. Yes, Irma.
I think what I found mostly with this conference is actually letting them lead.
Yeah.
Right.
I swear, I know.
That's probably the thing I have found in most
Right.
of our, we have a lot
Right.
of service in our area,
Right.
but everybody is telling them what to do instead of letting them do it
Oh,
themselves.
thank you. Yes, right, get out of the way. That's kind of my bottom line message to adults, you know, set it up and get out of the way. Or don't even set it, let them set it up. All right, two more, and then, yes, Art.
The idea of not being a service learning teacher or service learning coordinator or a service learning lead, but being an active, vociferous, positive advocate for service learning.
Advocate,
Is
right.
what was being said about reaching out to kids, but reach out to teachers in schools beyond your narrow focus area.
Right. Narrow focus area, get outside that, get beyond that. Okay, there was somebody back. Yeah,
Well,
either one of you? Hello?
The biggest thing I think that's happened for me, and this has just really reinforced it, is the frame that I view this through, just constantly reminding myself that this is possible, and it's not only what I've heard up there, it's not only that it's possible, but it's really essential. I heard over and over again, I can make a difference. I was personally laid off through the governor's recent action. Actually, was pulled money investment board on December 18th. They froze my salary, so I was laid off. My immediate reaction was like, score! I'm going to go do a service trip. And so I planned a service trip for a month in India to teach village schools in. But my point is, regardless of coming to this conference or not, I was going to do that. What this conference did was help me realize how I can engage students in this, and partly use myself as a role model. This is how I react to this situation. But what can you do? What's needed in our community? So it's just kind of a reframing of things, I think, that I could to help open up opportunities for other people.
Right, great, thank you. So I'm going to let all of you have the last word. I know we didn't talk about this, but here we go. So this is your chance. You got a really good group here, and this is your chance to tell them what you think. What would you like to see the adults in our schools, particularly, do? What would be helpful for them to hear from you?
I would like to see more service learning projects started in schools all around California.
I'd like to see people encouraging young people to get involved with the community.
I think just like building off on what Kim said earlier, I think most of you are teachers, and I don't know if teachers know how much their students appreciate them. Like, I can still name all of my teachers from kindergarten through 8th grade, and I remember them, and I remember all the really weird, random lessons that they taught me. And I don't think you guys realize how badly an elementary school student wants your attention. it's pretty bad. So that's just, I mean, make what you want out of that, but that's all I have to say.
I would say, as a student, if you see that your teacher cares, it just drives you to wanna lead, to wanna be active. And then I also believe that service learning, it doesn't have to be something that is extra, something that people can do that's separate from daily life. I think it should just be a part of life. So just like we all have our natural rights, so the Bill of Rights and stuff, it's just something that we have, that we just do, not something extra. And I think that would also make a lot more people want to get involved. So it's not as like a requirement, it's more of just a life thing.
I think little kids, or younger kids especially, are motivated by challenges. Like, we were all together, like united in, like, originally with Team Kids, but when the firefighters told us about this little boy Jeremy that was dying, it was, he needs $35,000 for this trip, and we're like, well, we can help, we can do it. And they're like, okay, yeah, like, you can have a pancake breakfast, go ahead, like, raise a few $100s, like, that's not gonna do anything. And it was us, it was like 12 of us in our middle school, or elementary school. We met after school at a park, and we just told everyone to just come down, like all our friends, and everyone met, and we're like, okay, Matt, you bring the pancake batter and the syrup, and you bring the butter. And it turned out we ended up getting like newspaper like write-ups and stuff, and the news like broadcasted, and it ended up being like syrup companies donated cases of syrup, and like it was firefighters were behind the grill, like grilling the pancakes, and we had clowns and balloons, things, like it was a pony ride, like it was a huge event. But it came from the kids. Like, the kids don't need to be told, okay, this is what you're gonna do, this is how you're gonna do it. They just need to know that it can be done, or that it has to be done. Because kids like the challenge, and they like to outreach what people think they can't do. So just the inspiration and the power that you can give them.
I love that. Kids love to prove us wrong. Let's thank all the young people from Team Kids. And Nash, the founder of Team Kids. Do we have any messages, any announcements? No, we're good? Okay, so we're going to stick around up here for a couple minutes. If anybody wants to talk with anyone, have a comment or a question, that's great. Come and do that. We have a round of workshops up next. Thank you all.